anyone you want to call out in the heavyweight division?
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill.
Spend quality time with you and play Fortnite in your lovely house in LA.
I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him and wear his makeup and his dresses.
A few hours ago, one of the craziest things happened when it comes to Twitch, Hassan, H3H3, and yes, there's peak unemployment levels. Gather your buddies, grab everyone around you. The world needs to see this massive, insane.
Dude, I didn't have the mic on for all of this, bro. That means I gotta restart. I gotta restart. Luckily, nobody's watching, so, wow, dude, really killing it this morning. I was really killing it. We're in another dimension. We're not gonna get the same reaction that I got before, but we're gonna start over. I'm gonna give it the best I can. I am all sorts of a mess this morning. Today we're going to be covering sensitive societies. What the actual heck is actually going on, my dude? What do we have going on here? And we know that the video is going to be a banger because it's starting off with the Sam Hyde clip. I mean, if you don't know the Sam Hyde clip, it's legendary. I don't understand how you cannot have seen this and not thought it was hilarious. Now, this is how to actually do a joke. I've had a lot of Hassan fans come into my thing and talk about how his stuff in the past, like his insane comments about Rick Scott were a joke when he literally says, "Now this is why I would actually say to do it." Like, this is a comedian. Hassan is just a weird, insane radicalist on the internet. But we're gonna actually see what's actually going on. I guess this has to do with H3H3. So, massive day for the unemployed, like WestJet would say. But we're actually talking about sensitive society, another big commentary YouTuber. But let's get right into it. I'm excited.
You got anyone you want to call out in the heavyweight division?
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill.
Spend quality time with you and play Fortnite in your lovely house in LA.
I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him and wear his makeup and his dresses.
A few hours ago, one of the craziest things happened when it comes to Twitch, Hassan, H3H3, and yes, there's peak unemployment levels. Gather your buddies, grab everyone.
Dude, I miss old Keemstar so much, dude. Now, new Keemstar's fine. He's just not. I miss old Drama Lord, dude. I miss the pre-2016 days of the internet when it was just like, let's get right into the news. Pokemon's being a stupid little whore or whatever. It was just so great. Now, I know Keemstar has his L's, but early commentary was so fire. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, dude, I'll miss Leafy and all that stuff. I do. I miss when it was, like, super savage on the internet and super fun. You can make fun of anybody. I don't like this desensitization that we've got going where everybody's in their little cliques. Like, I like the fact that you should be able to make fun of anybody equally. I try to do it on my channel all the time. I see Matt Walsh make a brain-dead movie review. I make fun of Matt Walsh. I see Hassan being an absolute lunatic. I make fun of Hassan. I like making fun of people on the internet. I get a lot of things where like, oh, well, you're doing all this politics stuff. I'm like, no, I'm just making fun of people, dude. I'm just here for the chaos, my dog. I'm here to be like soft edging, slow jerking in the background. I have that DSP headbang going on because I love this drama so much.
Around you, the world needs to see this massive, insane update to everything. But why am I saying this? What's all this yapping about? What is yapping about? So H3H3 Ethan Klein returned to Twitch after a minute and decided to play on loop the Hassan Piker content nuke. And then he also said this.
I say this merely, what I'm about to say is merely an experimental suggestion, act of protest. It is by no means an endorsement for violence, nor do I want anyone to do any act of violence. It's purely a thought experiment. I just want to make that as clear as possible.
I want to say in this right here, so Ethan, like a few weeks ago after he got off that Ozempic grind, he was looking pretty bad, dude. He was looking sunk in, dude. He looked like he was sucking and tucking underneath bridges for some crack, but he's starting to look a little better. He's starting to get some fleshed out in his face. I mean, yeah, he went from like, okay, I'm grinding, I've lost the weight, now let's kind of put some back on so I don't look like a meth head. I don't look like Daniel Larson. So that's good. Looking healthy again.
My thought experiment is if somebody on Twitch says someone should blah, blah, blah Dan Clancy, would they get banned for 1 day? Is that just a 1 day ban? Because that would be an interesting experiment. Not that anyone should say it, or obviously, again, not that anyone should do it. But I do think that there's an interesting experiment potentially here in seeing how consistent their enforcement rules are. Because theoretically, that should just be 1 day suspension, right? I mean, it's not as bad as even threatening or endorsing violence against a sitting elected official.
You would think if Twitch was consistent, nothing would happen, right? Or if something were to happen, he would get a 1 day ban, because apparently on Twitch, you can get away with telling people to go and kill someone or making it a call to action, be like, well, you know, someone should kill this guy. I mean, here on
I mean, they are right. That's exactly what Hassan did. And here's the thing. I 100% understand where like Hassan was coming from in like the idea that if there is fraud should be called out. But there is a way to talk about it, and I get so annoyed. I get so annoyed with the idea. This hat is driving me nuts. Every time I look over at my camera, I just look like a fucking loser. But I mean, that's not far off from the truth, guys. But every time I see like anybody from Hassan's community come into my chat and they're like, well, you just like this, or you just don't like Hassan because of these ideas, and I'm like, not about the ideas. The premise of like when there's fraud and there's issues in the government, you should call it out. That is truthful. But to wish death and then to go to an extreme like that and then later downplay it as a joke when you weren't joking, that's just such that's one, you're gaslighting your audience. Two, you're an absolute goon goblin. Hassan is a goon goblin extremist, and that's where the problem lies, because it's ruled for thee and not for me type bullshit, and I don't stand for that.
strike, and that video, you know, kill blank YouTuber. It's like, well, yeah, I'm going to get a strike, and that video will be taken down, and rightfully so. And you want to know what the craziest part of everything is the fact that Ethan Klein got banned from Twitch for showing the content nuke, which is just Hassan being exposed for promoting terrorism and, you know, everything else he's done. So you don't ban the guy that's actually saying all of this crazy stuff. And once again, Hassan is never beating the allegations with Tom or Dan Clancy, whatever the fuck that gooner's name is. He's never beating the allegations that he's constantly protected by Dan Clancy, because Dan Clancy loves him, and you know, he wants a Hassan Piker meat in his mouth. He wants that Lizzie.
Dude, he just wants to take Hassan's man meat and just all the way down, dude. It's so crazy. So now a little pretext here is Ethan Klein got banned off of Twitch. 100%. He's gone. He's nuked. His content nuked got him nuked. And it's so insane to me, because if you watch the content nuke, if you actually watch it instead of just being like fan base captured by Hassan or whatever, you will see that he comes at it from a leftist perspective of like, I'm a leftist, but this is insane. This is an extremism. Which you should call out extremism in your own communities. I think that is fair. If I was like Ben Shapiro, right? Or actually, this is a great point. Ben Shapiro recently came out and was like, we should pardon the dude who did the Floyd George Floyd thingy. Yeah, dude, we should pardon him. No, I don't agree with that. The dude deserved some sort of charges. He like, now you might be like, well, we should still pardon him because it was he didn't deserve first-degree murder. It was a political blah blah blah. Sorry, dude. He literally had George Floyd in the back of the car, and George Floyd asked to be laid on the ground, and he was like, you know, that sounds like a good idea, man. Instantly, once he allowed the perp to dictate what was going to happen next, he failed as a cop. He then led to that situation happening. He should have had him in the back of the car. He said, if you are feeling unwell, we will take you to the hospital. Boom. Problem solved. Hit on those flashing lights, take him to the hospital. What, like, why are you letting the perp dictate what happens next, and then proceeding to stand on top of the dude? I can say that with like full certainty, right? I know that it's a hot, politically contentious issue, but as a cop, he failed his duty in that situation. I fully believe that. Now, a lot of the other situations that popped up after the George Floyd thing were a little bit egregious, and they were trying to, anytime there was a situation where a cop killed anybody, they were like, oh no, they're definitely just being racist, and like it got a little bit contentious and all over the place, and some of them is like, well, the dude had a gun and was shooting it at the cop, of course he's gonna shoot back. Or the dude was chasing him with a knife, of course he's gonna shoot back. But like the George Floyd thing, I 100% believe that he at least deserved manslaughter for sure, because he let the perp dictate. And this isn't, I'm not even talking about race here, nothing about this is racial. I'm saying in perspective, me watching that video, that cop did so much stupid shit in that situation that he deserved to lose his job and at least get a manslaughter charge. Now, first degree murder, I don't know, but the precedent you would set by pardoning him, absolute cringe. And that's, see, I think you should be able to call out people that sometimes you really do agree with. Like, there are times where I do agree with Ben Shapiro. I think Ben Shapiro is spitting facts. And then, on the other hand, I can look at, like, Ethan, and sometimes he's spitting facts, but then he'll go on these, like, pro-censorship arguments, and I'm like, bro, you literally were one of the edgiest people of all fucking time, and now you want to pull the ladder up and not let anybody else who's edgy come up just because you decided you want the internet desensitized? Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. You should be able to criticize people you watch at any point. No matter how much you like them, you should be critical of them all the time to a certain extent. And when they do shit that's wild, you should be able to call that wild shit out, and still, you can still consider yourself a fan of theirs, but say, hey, I don't agree with that take, right? Is that crazy? Am I fucking insane for saying that? Don't let yourself get fucking cult mind fucked at all times. Wow, dude, crazy concept.
God, it got banned for encouraging or glorifying extreme violence.
Whoa.
That's fucking.
Wow.
That's Hassan's content that's on your platform that he didn't get in trouble for. Holy fuck.
Interesting.
Whoa! You guys
There's a
don't believe me?
manual
Look at
ban,
this.
too. I mean, I believe you.
Screenshot it. We can pull it up.
Is it safe to show?
Are you sure? Oh wait, before.
Fine, show it to Dan first, please.
Okay, he said so.
Okay.
I have the button.
Encouraging or glorifying extreme violence. Yes, that's it.
Wow.
How
Okay,
long
that's
is the ban?
Well,
pretty
it should be
cut and
only a day ban, right? In theory.
Well,
In theory, it should be no ban because it's his content.
Guys, I got a 30-day ban.
30 days?
30 days.
Dude, Hassan gets 24 hours for literally saying, let's straight up blastoids a senator, but Ethan just shows his crazy shit that he says. He doesn't even have that clip in this, dude. He doesn't even have this clip in it. All he shows is Hassan's unhinged nature 24/7 in his content nuke, and he gets a 30-day ban. That's wild, dude. And this is what I've talked about in the past about Twitch not enforcing their platform equally. Now, in my opinion, it should just be all free speech all the way. Fucking let's go, baby, let's go. But that's not what Twitch does. So I stand here talking about the hypocrisy. I don't think Hassan should be banned. I really don't. I think Hassan has every right to speak his nonsense and I think other people on that platform, as crazy as if like Nick Fuentes was out there, and I hate Nick Fuentes. I think Nick Fuentes is an absolute goon goblin. But that cum falcon deserves to be on Twitch as well. I 100% believe that. If you're going to have freedom of speech, just allow freedom of speech. If you're going to have one extremist, allow the other extremist. Eventually, people will see them both for their idiocracy and realize that they're not the people they should be listening to, and then eventually drift back toward center because they'll see some pushback. But when you have like a weird over censorship only to one side on a platform, you're going to create zealotness like we've had on Twitch. That's a fair thing. I mean, I don't understand how people can't see this. I feel like maybe I'm fucking preaching into the void, but whatever.
And I didn't even say I didn't.
Anyone that tells you, oh yeah, Twitch is against Hassan is the underdog. I mean, we gotta support this guy. Dude, Twitch backs him 1,000,000,000%. It's fucking insane when you actually think about it. Twitch banned the guy for 30 days, that guy that's exposing all of this, bringing attention to it. You ban the guy that's calling out this behavior that happens on your platform every single day. Yet the guy that's saying all of this stuff every single day, he gets a 1-day ban. What is Twitch? They're never beating the bias allegations, and they're never beating his son Piker lover allegations either. 30-day ban for you, even though you did nothing wrong. I mean, the bias is real. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not just the Hassan Piker haters. He could do no wrong. Then Ethan posted this: appeal denied. Your account was recently suspended for encouraging or glorifying extreme violence. You mean the extreme violence that Hassan is always...
Dude, literally everything Hassan's done and like craziness. And like, this is something when I posted the video about Hassan getting banned, right? I posted the like banned thing, and in that video I am fairly fair to Hassan. I don't like say that I think he deserved to be banned. I think that his stuff, like if something were to happen to Rick Scott, it could be pulled in a, like he could be liable for like in a civil suit, but I don't know if he could be liable in a criminal suit. So I did say that, but I also said like I don't know if he should be banned for that. I don't know the legality on it, and I wasn't like celebrating him getting banned because I am pro freedom of speech. I talked about the hypocrisy, and this right here is a complete highlight of the hypocrisy going on Twitch. It's like, dude, Hassan can go on Twitter and see somebody he doesn't like, and then post the gun that killed not Shinzi Mikami. That's a video. The I can't remember his name, dude. The Prime Minister of Japan. He posts the gun that was used to assassinate the Prime Minister of Japan underneath like politicians he doesn't like, and then he's constantly saying that we should off anybody who disagrees with him. He's talked about sending people that he doesn't like to re-education camps, and then like but if somebody on the right would say stuff like that, which would be egregious as well, I would call it out for being egregious, like I have in this thing. Wow, dude, look at this fucking menstruation tsunami coming in with logic and facts. I'm here to tell you that pussies can't get wet. But it's just like, if somebody on the right said it, I would call it out, but at the same time I think they have the right to say their nonsense. It's just, but they would get banned and Hassan doesn't, and that shows an egregious overuse of censorship and hypocrisy on the platform.
Putting on the terrorism propaganda, that kind of violence. Nah, Twitch is a fucking joke, and I hope no one takes that platform seriously. I still think it's better than Kick, but at the same time, anything is better than Kick. For as many faults that YouTube has, it's never been Twitch bad. I'm not saying YouTube is perfect, but it's light years ahead of.
Well, and here's the thing about Kick, and I think Kick has a lot of problems with the promoting of gambling, which I'm kind of iffy on the promoting of gambling. I think that's just my mindset growing up in Nevada, where gambling was everywhere, and I was just like, if you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't, you don't. And I think that Kick does need to figure out their kind of lane that they need to ride in, because there's a lot, like, freedom of speech, awesome. I think we should always allow freedom of speech. But I think that a lot of things go overlooked because there lacks moderation policies. Like, there's been people who are like trying to rizz up 12-year-olds on fucking Kick, and that's gross. That's disgusting. That's disgusting behavior. And I think Kick needs to kind of figure out a better balance, and there are newer platforms, so I think eventually they do have the promise to do something good on Kick to kind of counteract that idea of the over censorship on Twitch. But I think that by them being attached to the gambling, and also their way too lax moderation, where they're not actually going after actual predators on the platform, I think that they need to figure out their moderation. I think that then they would be a good counteraction to Twitch. But until then, we just have one platform that over censors and the other over moderates, and then the other that under moderates to the point that it's kind of a dangerous place to be on, that you don't have that actual like logical place. And that's kind of why I stream here on YouTube, because even though YouTube does have issues with upholding their policies genuinely, I think that they do a much better job than both Kick and fucking Twitch. It's like I can say more on YouTube than I can on Twitch, but I'm also not going to be in the same realm as the Predators over on Kick. Now, that might be an L take. I don't know. A lot of people tell me all my takes are L, and I should just go fucking bury my head in the sand with my ass up so that everybody can walk around and fuck me in the asshole. But who knows? Who knows? I think that maybe I spat some knowledge into the universe, but who knows?
Whatever Twitch is. For the love of God, this is the same Twitch CEO that literally had employees sing happy birthday to Hassan Piker on their lunch break. Happy birthday!
Hey Disney Plus, you should stream the
Dude, it's just dude, like that was so cringe, and that just shows a bias. Like I don't, the moment that happened, it was just forever. Anytime he would he complains like Twitch is like after him or anything, they had like at one point he had to break through a line, and they had to like pretend to like, oh, we actually care about safety and stuff, and we'll give him a little bit of a ban, and they do one day, but then anybody comes out against him, and oh no, look at that, he's a fucking gooner, and we should ban this guy because he's talking bad about Hassan, and we love Hassan. Look, we'll sing him happy birthday. It's fucking cringe. If your entire office is this into one guy, and they're this far like out into the fucking wastelands of their political ideology, you have a problem. You have an issue. You should try to create your team of as many different viewpoints as possible. You should have multiple different viewpoints. It's just, to me, logical that you have a bunch of different viewpoints, because then you're going to have a more well, these left guys say, hey, this right wing guy's way out of line, he's going too far, and you're okay. And then your people that are right wing are like, this left wing guy's going way out of line, going too far. And then they can see it from both perspectives. They can actually have a discussion about it, about if they should be banned or not. And there's at least other viewpoints at the table. I think that's fair. I think that actually shows real diversity in thought. Wow, crazy. I'm over here for more diversity than fucking Hassan.
This is crazy.
Happy birthday to... And then this was apparently manually reviewed. A member of our team has reviewed your appeal, and after taking a look into the details of your case, we have determined that your account will remain suspended due to the violation of our community guidelines. And then maybe 4 to 5 hours after everything went down, they unbanned his account. And one of the reasons why he was banned for politics and sensitive social issues. Are you insane? Where's the Hassan Piker ban for this? Like, legit, why are the people who are just talking about it, why are those the ones getting in trouble? And then here's a screenshot of them being unbanned just a few hours later, and Ethan says, 99.9% sure Hassan called Dan Clancy and told him to unban me because it looked cartoonishly evil and dumb. The appeal was denied. I don't know what's going on. Like, either A, Twitch employees were fighting, they were like, we should ban him. And then another one was like, well, I don't know about that one. You know, they had an argument for like 4 hours, and then or Hassan called Dan Clancy. It was like, yo, honey, hope the kids are well, I'll come over in 5.
And I do think that it's good that they unbanned him, because like otherwise this shows egregious, it shows the most egregious amount of radicalization to one ideology, and that's bad. That's a bad premise to set on your platform. And even if Hassan did call, that's good on him. I would give Hassan a W if he was like, yeah, I saw them ban Ethan, I said that's not cool, we might have our disagreements, but in the realm of thought, we shouldn't be policing thought. I'd be like, wow, Hassan finally having a logical take. I think that is the right way to go. And I think that it's never bad to have differences of opinion, and you should, like, if you are of a certain perspective and you see somebody else of a certain perspective, you shouldn't agree with them on anything. That's fucking nutjob behavior. You should be willing to push back and have a grander ideas, and like, oh, well, dude, you're being a little fucking crazy right now. Maybe you should tone down the rhetoric because you're a fucking nutjob. And then other guys like, you know, that's fair. Having that pushback, I never think is a bad thing.
You do me a favor, can you actually unban Mr. Ethan Klein? It makes me look bad. I think that's most likely the possibility. They were like, yo, this looks so bad. If we continuously censor the people who are calling Hassan Piker out, what other takeaway am I supposed to have? LMAO, wait, he got a 30-day ban for showing Hassan's content, but Hassan didn't get banned for making it in the first place? That's hysterical. H3 getting banned for showing clips taken directly from Twitch is hilarious. It's very clear Twitch is doubling down on their favoritism. I think the most indefensible part is that they gave him a 30-day ban for showing Hassan's own words on their platform while they only gave him a 1-day ban. Silly you, you're not supposed to question anything, you're just supposed to take it as is. At this point, I gotta believe Dan Clancy is in love with Hassan. Oh, 1,000,000,000%. You know that Dan Clancy has a huge Hassan Piker poster that he jerks off to every single time Hassan is live?
Dude, that poster probably looks like a glazed donut. I'm not gonna lie, dude. He probably never cleans it just because he likes the idea of bukkake Hassan Piker.
Something very wrong with Twitch, their CEO, no shit, and especially their moderation team. The bans are inconsistent. Sometimes they don't even exist. Yeah, Twitch needs to shut down immediately. But then at the same time, I don't want all of those idiots to come to YouTube. What an absolute fucking joke of a site. I wonder what the Hassan Piker fans are going to say about this. Oh, the system tried to shut him down and he's standing up for his rights.
No, they're gonna call him a racist. They're gonna say, of course they banned him because he's a racist or some shit. They always, anybody who's critical of Hassan, they find some weird fucking excuse. Every time I make a video on Hassan, I get either I'm an Ethan Glazer, I'm what do they call him? Sex Destiny. I don't even like Destiny that much. One of my biggest videos on my channel is where I actually I watch a video where Destiny's getting called out, and I'm for him getting called out because he was being a gooner. But every single time they find some person, they attach me to being a simp of theirs, instead of looking at my stuff critically. Most of the time, they don't even watch the fucking video. They sit here and they're like, oh, well, obviously you're a part of this community. Obviously you're a part of this community. Obviously you're just a fucking racist. You just hate people because you're a racist. It's stupid. It's fucking pathetic. There's no critical thought behind it. It's just fucking labeling. It's disingenuously labeling people because you don't want to hear anybody with a different opinion, which is just fucking retarded. Like, how retarded do you have to be to have that actual mindset that it's like, oh, well, I see video about my favorite creator, might as well back him with fucking illogical arguments.
Yeah, they're trying to cancel him, despite being constantly promoted on the page and having over 30,000 people live every single day, and then the Twitch CEO being on that Hassan Piker meet. But yeah, guys, they're trying to take him down. It's just like, I don't want to sound like a fucking boomer, but does anyone remember when Twitch was actually about gaming? Not these Twitch thoughts, or these political idiots, or Hassan Piker. Remember where you could go on Twitch and actually see your favorite game being played? He's saying that makes me sound like the biggest fucking boomer, so I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, with that said, thanks so much for watching. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, or else the Twitch CEO will come to your house and tickle your feet. Meanwhile, a Hassan
yes? Dan Clancy, you're welcome to come over anytime and suck on my toes. Could you imagine how gross that would be? Could you imagine how gross just some old dude shows up at your house? I'm gonna suck on your toes, and you're like, hey man, I don't know. How about you leave? No, not until I get some toesy posies in my mouthy wouthy. And you're like, no, I'm gonna call the cops. Please get the fuck out. But yeah, no, that's kind of the Ethan Klein situation right now. I think there is, this showed an extreme bias, the bias that we've all known about that has existed from the beginning, and it just shows it on display that you can't be critical of Hassan, and they had no choice but to reverse this idea, because only progress forward was after banning him. If they would have held the 30-day ban in effect, all they'd be proving is how radicalized their moderation team is, how crazy Twitch is bias-wise toward, extreme left-wing ideology. And that's a problem. It's like, I have no problem with people who have extreme views. I obviously don't like them, but I think they have the right to speak because I'm a First Amendment absolutist. I think that is how we get the best dialogue. I think that's how we get the best comedy. And yes, the downside of that is there's going to be insane people talking on the internet. But the best process, and it's all about personal responsibility, is anybody you watch, you should be willing to be critical of them. You should be willing to do your own research, and I don't think it's up to these platforms to make the decision on what's okay for us to watch in terms of speech. I don't, and I don't think, like, I've seen people like call out Hassan for not moderating his chat, that's fucking retarded. You shouldn't be held responsible for what your chat says. That's stupid. Their freedom of speech shouldn't ruin your freedom of speech, because that's again like against my values. But it's just like, I think so wholeheartedly that he has the right to talk, but the hypocrisy on Twitch is the problem. It's never about me thinking he should be banned. I want to make that absolutely clear. But that's the Ethan Hassan drama right now. But yeah, like and subscribe, I guess. All right, so we got a video from Machito here. Machito is a commentary YouTuber. He's been around for a while. He's friends with Turkey Tom. I really like Cheeto. I've always thought he was very entertaining. This is called America's Creep is Getting Exposed. And I don't know who he's talking about here. I am very interested to see what we got. It's like, I think the thumbnail had Epstein on it, which I can't wait for the Epstein list to be dropped and actually have the names. I don't want to see just fucking a page of black bars. I don't want to see this shit. Your mom, your fucking mom, that's the creep, is my mom. My mom's just out there gooning at an unparalleled degree. But I want to see the Epstein list. I don't care who's on it. I want it to be released. And then after it's released, I think like people can go out and say, oh yeah, dude, I just took the flight to fucking DC, and it's like, all right, they should have to, like, it should be free for the people to see. I'm 100% for that. I am so for transparency on all times. Your mom is a great lady, the best lady. She's not a goblin at all. But all right, let's get right into this one.
So the Epstein files have finally been released, and guess what? We got a whole lot of nothing. Redacted pages, influencer photo ops, and an official government Twitter account rickrolling the public. This might be the worst document release in history, but if you don't even know what I'm talking about, basically we got to start from ground zero, which is the big man himself, Jeff EpiPen. Not going to say his full name because I don't want to get demonetized, but basically there's a guy.
Oh crap, I already said his name. Well, it's probably demonetization. Luckily I'm not even fucking monetized yet. I'm not even monetized yet, so I can say what I want. Skibbly bibbly buttholes. It was that Hey, hi, little me. Hey guys, I'm going home. That's Carmen. My Trump is terrible though. That's P Diddy. Terrible P Diddy. P Diddy, I heard, diddled some guys. I didn't say P Diddy diddled some guys. I have a really nasally voice. The most nasally voice. All I can do is the pauses and the bah. And Trump does a lot of bah and bah. That's all I can do for Trump. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. Instead of sounding like a cartoonization, I'm working on it. I want to get my Trump down so that I can do the jokes and I can slide right off the tip of the penis, like the right amount of pre-cum. I want to do the voice just right.
Some bad things. He's tied to a lot of powerful people, and the public wants to know the powerful people that he's tied to that have remained anonymous. And these
Trump's hard. You gotta do the hands. You gotta do the hands. America is in bad state, the worst state. I just know that if I can do it, and anybody can do it, eventually I will do it right. This is going to be huge. This is going to be huge for America. The greatest for America. Best president since Abraham Lincoln.
Files are supposed to expose some of that, but the release of said files has been atrocious, and let's just get into it.
You said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
Tomorrow, Jesse. Breaking news right now. You're going to see some Epstein information being released.
As phase 1 of the Epstein files were released to a few conservative influencers, even people on the right were skeptical as to why they received
This is so gay. This is so gay when I saw this shit. I was on Twitter and I saw this. I'm like, fuck yeah, we're gonna get the Epstein files. What is Tom Hanksman doing? He's not playing Woody no more. He's messing with the little kids, allegedly, in Minecraft. And I was like, yeah, dude, Yeah, I was so excited, dude. We're finally gonna see what Tom Hanks is doing. How big of friends is Tom Hanks with Epstein Jeffrey? What do we got going here? And I was so excited, and then to just see a fucking page of black bars. It was like dick censorship, you know, when you see like a show and it's got the dick and it's got the black bar over it. It was just a page of those fucking black bars. And now when you censor my penis, it's a very small black bar because I have a very small wiener. It's all head. But like this was like massive jabroni BBC energy. BBC British television, massive wieners. I doubt the British have big wieners. They're just probably a whole country. Oh, look at my tiny little Willy. Look at my little Willy. Don't the women go crazy for my little Willy? That's why you see all the what is it? It's fucking Bonnie Blue, and then what's the other chick? I can't remember. But that's why they were able to have sex with like a gajillion guys, because they were all like fucking. They were all in the levels of me, micro kings. They were micro kings. All their statues prove it.
Documents and not the general public.
Great question. I don't know the answer. Why is it that a bunch of high-profile right-wing Twitter accounts, like this is the equivalent of giving admin privileges to a blue check mark just because you like them and they're kind of notable? Like, why are these people getting exclusive information just because like they're kind of known on Twitter or something like that? Like they have the inside, so they're like just fucking smiling, saying cheese because, oh hey, we got the binder with the info about the guy who's tied to all the powerful people who has an island where he diddled some, you know, minors. Like, what are we doing here? What's the point? People want this released because they want to take down the elites. They don't want the information to just be given to the elites. Not that these guys are like,
oh, well, hold on one second. We gotta fucking talk about something right here. All right. Now, I'm guessing they were given these hats, right? Because they got like 6 in their fucking hands. They got like 47 fucking hats in their hands. But the one guy that's bothering me, and what originally made me think about this, is this fucker in the cowboy hat right here. Because before I saw everybody else with a giggity schmoodle amount of hats, I saw this fucker right here with the MAGA hat in his hand, right? He's got the MAGA hat in his hat. He's already wearing a fucking hat. So my initial thought was, this fucking douchebag was like, oh, dude, I like Trump so much, dude. And I'm like so cool that I made sure to bring my MAGA hat and wear my cowboy hat. Like, dude, you already have fucking hat on, dog. You don't need more hats. But now I know that they all got fucking hats. Look at how many hats, dude. They just walked in the office and was like, you get a hat, you get a hat, you get a hat, you get a hat. Give one to your buddy. Like I'm not gonna lie, dude. I love a free hat. I'm a big fan of a free hat, but like this dude, once you start wearing cowboy hats, you realize how lit fucking. I grew up wearing cowboy hats. I fucking love my cowboy hat. But if somebody looks at me and while I'm wearing my cowboy hat is like, here's a free hat, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take it, but like not replace my cowboy hat. So I understand his energy, but at the same time, it was weird for a second there. I'm not gonna lie.
The elites, but you know, they're more elite than the average person. Also, holding binders up like it's an award ceremony, it just like, it feels like propaganda rather than an actual like achievement. This doesn't feel like a win for the American people. Why are podcasters and tweeters getting files before actual journalists?
Curious to how a boxing reporter and Miss Universe.
It's not a day.
Yeah, dude, this is dumb. This is so dumb. They should have just released it to the public. Just had a fucking cold drop, dude. Drop that shit like what was that game that Xbox dropped? Hi-Fi Rush, dude. They should have like fucking soft dropped this shit, surprise dropped this shit like Hi-Fi Rush. It should just hit the market. Everybody be like, oh my god, look what Jay-Z's doing. Jay-Z likes kids now, allegedly, in Minecraft. Whoa, this is crazy. Take down the elites. That's the energy I want to see. These fucking weird elitist people just being taken down. But instead, no, here's some more elitists. We're going to give them an elite, and then it's going to be super elite cabal of black bars. You get black bars. You get fucking nothing, and you're going to be happy about it. Come on, dude.
Judge managed to get this access.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
The Epstein files, baby. Let's make America safe again.
Dude, her face is like, she's like probably, I'm going to guess like 32. We're gonna go 32, but she got one crow's foot, right? She got one fucking little wiggly diggly crow's foot in her eye, right? And she was like, you know what? I'm gonna take 47 needles and stick them into my face like I'm like that death scene from the movie Poughkeepsie Tapes. I'm gonna stick them in my face and just fill it with plastic, fill it with all the plastic, so I have trouble making any face other than this smile. It's dude. She ruined her face, bro. It's like, it looks like somebody like stuck a mask over her head. And I know I shouldn't make fun of people on their personal appearance, but I'm sorry, if you put 87 pounds of Botox in your face like Kenny fucking Rogers, I'm gonna make jokes.
Like, this literally looks like a girl who is doing a vertical video for the new Stanley Cup. Hey guys, check this out. Look what I got, you know, doing a Christmas haul or something. This is not normal. This is not an accomplishment. It's so sloppy. It's so ridiculous. And it takes away from the seriousness of this event, like from the release of this thing. It seems so not serious at all. I don't know what to say.
But at least on the street, journalists like Savannah Hernandez also received the binder.
One of those Epstein file binders. Now, I want to clear something up immediately and...
By the way, look at the binder. It says Phase 1. This fucking feels like a Marvel movie roll.
Next on the MCU, do we get Tom Hanks or do we get some shabroni you've never heard about? Just kidding. Black bars. Black bars. You get big black cock highlighted in black.
It's like, why do we need multiple phases? When does Thanos come out? Like, are we doing like hyped up drops that lead to nothing? I don't get it. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. It just feels like a video game almost, with like seasonal drops and cosmetics. It's very bizarre. Again,
on the next DLC, is your favorite politician going to be found out that he's a pervert? Probably. Wait, you gotta wait till next year though. We gotta keep the drops hot. $100 DLC coming right up. Dude, you better stick your head in the sand, ass up, and wait to get fucked.
Taking away from the seriousness of it.
But when these influencers shared the pages on their live streams, nobody could even see what was on the pages, as many of them were mainly blocks of omitted texts that tell us nothing. As pretty much everything top to bottom about this was terrible, as I believe it was the FBI director Kash Patel or possibly Attorney General Pam Bondi that said they'd release those files on day one. Or maybe it was both of them, but she said they were on her desk and they definitely didn't get released. But we also have to unpack how these influencers received the files instead of just uploading a full PDF for the public to sift through.
It just feels like edging. It just feels like, hey, you know, it's out there. Look at your favorite screen people holding it up so you know that we don't have a complete nothing burger for you.
Dude, yeah, we're never gonna get wet, just like Ben Shapiro's wife, dude. We're never gonna actually get wet because all it is just fucking, they might as well just print it out blank paper. They might as well just print it out blank paper and the first page just says Epstein list and then every single fucking page is blank. It's pointless. It's just all garbage optics. It's fucking lame, dude. I don't care who's on that fucking list. I want to see it. I want to see it. I don't care if fucking Steven Crowder is on the list and under the notation it says making out with Hassan Piker. I want to see that shit. I don't care who gets mad because those names are on it. We should be able to get mad together collectively as a country. We should be able to be like, wow, look at all these fucking gooners that we've just have been going under the radar. Wow, we need to know these people. I do not care like whose career could get demolished because of this. We should know. We should know. It like we should have that freedom. And the fact that they're like, oh, we're gonna release it. We're going to release it, and then what we get is nothing. It's fucking pathetic.
It's coming, just you wait. Like, it just feels like giving breadcrumbs to people just so that they shut up. Like, I feel like it's just trying to silence people with legitimate concern about, you know, hey, you know, this was said to be a day one action item, and now we're waiting on it. Any fucking...
Yeah, I mean, he's 100% right here. It just feels like we're fucking right about to burst. We're right about to get the actual fucking nitty gritty, but instead we get nothing. And I don't know, dude. It just comes off, it's gross. It's just gross. I think the most important thing in the world is always information. Information. Like, you should be fucking sitting there, mouth open, just a line of information lining up and just proceeding to blast it into the back of your throat, because you should be willing to gulp that information down like you are an OnlyFans model. That should be your goal. And when I see shit like this where it's just no pre-cum, no nothing, you're not even hard, it's just sitting there staring at just sad genitals. It's looking at a pussy that's drier than the Sahara Desert, and then you're like, well, I guess I can use my tongue, but you haven't drank water all day, so your mouth is dry. It's just fucking nothing.
This was said to be a day one action item, and now we're waiting on it any fucking day now. They paid some people to hold up the photos, and to basically, I feel like the goal is to silence people who are raising that concern. It just seems like damage control and narrative control rather than actually serving the purpose of the release here.
Yes. The influencer photo shoot is a bad look, But apparently,
also, like, the AG demanding full files within a day, like, it sounds good, but why wasn't it done from the start? Like, I don't get it. Like, if the transparency was the goal, why not just go onto TV and air it all out? Like, why are we doing this breadcrumbing shit? Go on to Fox, go on primetime. Seems so easy.
apparently the press wasn't there for them. They were already out there waiting to snag some photos of the UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and just happened to run into the recipients of the files. Still doesn't make up for the fact that the PDF wasn't directly uploaded, and what makes this pretty much a million times worse.
This is the craziest part. So it's the fact that people are upset about the botched release of this stuff, and in response to knowing this, look what happens with an official government Twitter account.
Is the official Republican House Judiciary.
This is the House Judiciary tweeting breaking Epstein files released, and it's a tiny URL, which, by the way, I believe they're making money. They make a small commission every time people click a tiny URL, because when you have the original URL and then you put it through Tiny, it makes it so that you click the link, it sends you to a website with like an ad, then you get the actual link. So I think part of this is like they're making money off of the hype from, not hype is the right word, but curiousness from Americans as to what's happening here, and they're farming ad revenue off them, I think. I don't know, they may have changed Tiny URL, but look.
Account on Twitter.
Well, and here's the thing, I don't, if it was the full list, I wouldn't be against, like, okay, the government's making money. Wow, dude, the government's making money on something else other than its fucking people. I mean, it's still making money on the people, but it's not coming out of my fucking paycheck. But I don't mind that it's using Tiny URL. I just think that you should have released the whole fucking files. Why are we just releasing like fucking sneeze dribble juice every fucking second instead of just releasing the whole thing?
Post a link to the alleged Epstein files that linked to a URL shortener that shows an ad at the bottom that eventually links you to be rickrolled on.
Like, are we serious? The government is fucking rickrolling us. Yeah, hey, concerned American, do you think that we should figure out the anonymous people that have ties to this literal criminal, this sex criminal that have basically lived in shadows and gotten away with this? Yeah, you know what, my response?
Never gonna give you up, never take you down. That's exactly what we get. We get nothing other than that. It's fucking garbage.
Never gonna give you up.
Hey!
Never gonna let you down. Are we serious? You have let me down. You have given me up. If you were not gonna give me up, you would have actually posted a PDF here, which you can do because you photo printed like 10, 15, 100 binders of it. Can we be serious?
People want answers and, more importantly, prosecutions. And all they received were photo shoots from some podcasters and being trolled by official government accounts.
It's just so tone deaf. People want accountability. That's really it. They don't want to be the victim of like a 2010 YouTube prank or something. It's just so, it's so nuts. It's so nuts.
We basically, instead of getting the Epstein files, we basically got Logan Paul in the forest. That's what we got. We got Logan Paul in the forest. Oh, look at the guy behind me. He's having a good time. Like, no, dude, he's dead. Like, what are we talking about here? This is fucking garbage.
I feel like the tone of this administration was like, oh, you know, law and order. We're basically going to take the people that have uprooted society and gotten away with it and bring them to justice. Rick-rolling people who want to see that happen with the EpiPen guy, I feel like is kind of a bad move.
Now, the one thing I do want to acknowledge is how influencers receiving this document isn't all a bad thing. I believe the precedence the White House is trying to create here is no longer does the public have to rely on mainstream media outlets like Fox and CNN, but one was a CNN or MSNBC newscaster saying only members of the media can look at these leaked documents. If you at home see them, it's breaking the law. And the other clip was someone on a network saying, it's the news media's job to decipher the truth for our viewers. That type of pompous reporting as if they are the arbiters of reality, that needs to end. And
yeah, dude, this is 100% true. We should not be beholden to what the media tells us. We live in an age of social media and information. We should just be able to discern the information ourselves. This is why I've stood on so many grounds, like where I've said that I don't believe like people like Hassan should be banned, and I don't believe like people like Nick Fuentes should be banned, even though they're fucking extremists and nut jobs, and I don't like them. I think that we as people have our own personal accountability to be able to say, listen, we can do our own research because we have the information at our fingertips at every second. You should be able to check the shit for yourself. You shouldn't be beholden to the ideas of like these elitist pricks in this established media to tell us. We should just be able to look through, oh, page 1, page 2, page 3. Oh, look at all these fucking names. Wow, dude, this is why I never should have listened to any of these people, because they're all on the fucking list. That's fair.
Yeah, but it's not ending when you tell people to click a link and it brings them to a Rickroll. Like, I certainly agree that that's pompous and it's condescending to Americans who are not being treated like people who can read a document and extrapolate a conclusion. But this is not a better alternative. Giving it to a few blue checks and then pranking the public with a tiny URL. Like, what am I supposed to fucking get a kick out of that? Oh, it's a real knee slapper, guys. Where's the donate button on your website? I can't see it. Like, it's ridiculous. It's literally not dehumanizing, but it's so belittling to people who are genuinely concerned with corruption. This whole thing also seems like a distraction, you know? Like, rather than exposing everything, this, like, phase 1 stuff that I'm gonna go back to, it just seems like they're either buying time, which means that they were not able to say, yeah, we'd have this out on day 1, because if they're buying time, then they weren't ready. So they're either buying time or they're trying to do narrative control. Either one is not good, and I don't know. Like, so, this is just also...
It's just not a good look when the AG says the Epstein files will finally be released tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes around, and all we got was a photo shoot of some people holding up some binders, waiting several more hours, and finding out there's nothing inside.
What? Yeah.
Them. This all reminds me of 2020 when Trump had yet to concede the election, and his attorneys kept saying, we're gonna unleash the kraken of lawsuits that'll change everything.
And they never fucking did. They never released the kraken of lawsuits. Any grace that I gave old Donald Trump, we're gonna release the kraken. It's gonna be wild. People say it's the craziest of all time. People who've looked at these documents say they're pretty fucking wild. They're the most wild. It's gonna be huge. All that shit that I heard, all that rhetoric, and then we got fuck all and nothing. It made me think, oh, well, they didn't, the Democrats didn't steal the election. Wow, look at that, dude. And then he won by landslide the next time, so either he lost legitimately and all the elections have been fine, or he didn't lose legitimately and all the elections are rigged. That's like, it comes off fucking weird. And I think that like the idea behind like, oh, I got all this stuff, you should check it out, but I'm not gonna actually show you any of it is fucking garbage, dude. Just fucking like take the floodgates, open them, and let us see it all. And if there's a bit of fallout, who fucking cares? It's like we should know as people.
Nothing came out. Then another attorney said, oh, now we have the Kraken on steroids. And
all I can really say is the people who believe that the government and politicians are all talk, and the stereotype of politicians being liars and not keeping promises, they're vindicated yet again, because we have people saying stuff that they cannot do, lying to the people, and joking about it, literally laughing in our faces by pranking us. It is pathetic. We need better leadership. We need people to be honest.
Kanye 2024. So this was something I said. I remember when Trump first won the first election. I'm like, and this is before Kanye came real wild out of the gates with 1940s Germany stuff. I used to joke. I was like, yeah, dude, I don't like Hillary. I'm not the biggest fan of Trump, but we're all gonna be saved by Yeezus 2024. And then, whoa. Or 2020. I used to say Yeezus 2020. And then Kanye went wild in the streets, bro. Kanye went wild in the sheets, dog. He was out there he's still out there. He's still out there. I made a video that he apologized, and then the next day he was like, Hitler, 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 Hitler. And I'm like, whoa, bro, maybe you need to reel it back in. I used to love it for the memes, and then I was like, he's past the memes now. He's past the memes, and he's selling a swastika shirts after running a Super Bowl ad for him. Cool. Wild. We're in but that I miss those meme days when it was just like, oh, look at Kanye over here. He's gonna become president. Ha ha ha. And then big sadness.
When they say something, and the whole word that I'm gonna bring this all back to is accountability, because the reality is there's nothing stopping people from saying, yes, this will happen day 1, and then it doesn't happen day 1. They won't go to jail, they won't face any sort of justice. All we can hope for is that something changes, and it's not good enough to just hope that something changes, you know? It fucking sucks, it really does.
And every time they repeated the same game, it turned out to be a huge nothing burger. And now they release the Epstein Files Episode 1 or Phase 1, like there's some movie studio running out of source material, so they split the last book into several movies, as nothing about this says transparency. It just sounds like somebody on the back end is buying time to control the story.
Exactly. It just seems like this is completely made to distract or to juggle for time or to stall. That's all it really seems like. And at the end of the day, I don't know how much is going to change from this. Maybe we'll actually end up getting a version of this with non-redacted information that's widely available to the public. And if that happens, I'd be happy. But still, the way this has happened is just unacceptable. Really fucking bothers me. And that's about it. Leave a like on this video and subscribe. See you guys all later. Peace.
I mean, great video, but I 100% agree. We should like we have all this stuff going on where it's like we got Doge out there with we're so accountable, and then we got all this other stuff where it's like, oh, this is the administration of like accountability and transparency. But then when it comes to the Epstein files, it's like, whoa, dude. We can't show you all at once. Don't get greedy, you fucking gooners. Don't get greedy for all the information that you think you have the right to know. We gotta black it out with big black bars. Take this big black bar in your fucking mouth, you fucking pieces of shit. You better suck it down like a little good gooner. It's like, dude, I think we should have the ability to look at this shit and be like, oh, well, yeah, this is wild. Look how crazy this is. Insane. Like, I used to like this guy. Come to find out, he was having like, unsanctioned penis vagina entry with people underage. Crazy. We shouldn't like him anymore. Like, we should be able to make these our own opinions for ourselves. We should be able to see everybody who was on it. They should then have to make their own not have to. I'm not saying that they need to be held at gunpoint like they're like hostages in a foreign war. Just being like, I was only on the thing, and don't shoot me, No, they should actually be out there and take their own accountability. Say, yeah, dude, I flew with Epstein from Los Angeles to DC one time. That's why I was on the thing. He offered me a ride. I said, fuck yeah, dude, I will take a free ride on a private jet. And like make that explanation, and then it'll be up to the public to decide whether we agree with it or not. I think that's the best course of action. I don't understand why we're protecting all of these gooners out there. There should be no protection in the idea of information. We should be free to make our own decisions. But that's all I got on this one. Like and subscribe, guys. Big fan of drama and chaos, and that's exactly what we got here. And with that, I think I'm going to end it for now. Maybe I'll come back on later. I don't know. I have some important stuff I got to get to today, so...